Well, I had the opportunity to travel to Japan early on as a young man. My father was in the Navy, and he was stationed at Yokohama, and we lived in it used to be an old, I think it was a World War II runway in Nagai, the village was. And it was all Americans, but on the weekends, because it was a runway, and it was just the main road was literally the runway. We lived on one side, and on the other side were some stores and shops. But every Saturday, I believe, Saturday or Sunday, the local Japanese would come out and fly their model planes. They'd get out there and they would be, yelling and screaming all sorts of things in Japan. And even when they crashed, they seemed to be happy about it. But next week, they were back out there with that plane glued back together, with their buddies, talking about their adventures from before. So that just really struck me as an industrious group of people that just would not give up. When I first heard about the story, I've got a little bit of background in the nuclear engineering field. I did it with the Navy for several years. I really thought the media was blowing it out of proportion. I'm sure it was something small, and how the media likes to hype things up. So it didn't really hit home. But then when I went online that night and watched some of the video from the tsunami, and just apart from the nuclear disaster, to see the large just wall of water move through the town, I was speechless. To see the people, they were obviously saying something in Japanese. I didn't understand it, but I'm sure it wasn't good. So that's the part that really got me. And then as news of the damage to the reactor came out, that's when I really began to think, boy, these guys really do have a mess on their hands. And it's going to be years. The type of contamination, I know it's easy to think that just because the Japanese survived two nuclear bomb blasts back in the 40s, I just don't know how. If anyone can do it, they can do it. But I know they're going to need our help.